Yeah, let's do it. Over there is Kris, Zach. I'm Vigil. This is Andrew, and on the other line is Jim. And we are the Ghost Inside. We just put out a record.
You did indeed, guys. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us, man.
My absolute pleasure. So I think it's today now. The Ghost Inside drop your 6th studio album, Searching for Solace, today. So how does it feel to have it finally out there in the world for people to digest?
It's very exciting, man. We've been sitting on it for a while. You know, we've been working on these songs for how long now? It's been a while.
Yeah, we started about a year and a half.
Yeah, so
December 2022.
Yeah, so we've been sitting on it for a while. So it's been nice to see it come to fruition and see it out in the world and see people's reactions and stuff. So it's exciting.
So can you dive into it a bit more from a musical point of view for us, guys, and tell us what you were going for?
Yeah, I think Andrew can speak to quite a bit to this too, but we feel like with self-titled, we really stuck with like the Ghost Inside formula. Didn't take any chances there. That record was very clear what the objective was, kind of like long before we went into it. It was going to be the band's comeback record. Lyrical themes were all there right from the beginning. And this time, I think we just felt a lot more freedom. And I'll let Andrew talk about that.
Yeah, we just didn't want to set any limitations on ourselves for this one. We wanted to, sometimes the band life can weigh on you a little bit, and at times, we could be afraid to make certain decisions here or there with our music. But we went into this one having a clean slate and just doing whatever we thought we liked, whatever we wanted to do. We tried anything and everything, and it was awesome to work with so many different co-writers and producers, and they sort of unlocked like some things we didn't realize we had in us as a band, and it was cool to see the outcome.
Yeah, cool. And you released the singles Wash It Away, Death Grip, Earn It, and Split. So just say all someone's heard of the Ghost Inside is those songs on the radio or something. Like, are they a good sonic representation of what to expect from the whole band, whole album?
As far as the album, yeah. It's really it's a very push and pull record. It's a very back and forth, up and down record, and it's all with intention. And all the singles that have come out have been kind of contrasting. Like they've been one extreme or the other. Like they've been kind of pulling in different directions, and that's kind of how the vibe of the record is. Because in life, there's no like direct linear path to anything. Anything you want, anything you do is always going to have peaks and valleys. It's always going to be ups and downs. And we wanted to portray that in the songwriting process and in the record as a full listen through. Like it starts with just aggressive scream, and it ends with a soft acoustic guitar with singing. Like it's all with intention.
And like I was saying to you guys earlier, like I don't get out of bed early at all. And I got up at 8 o'clock this morning. I put that album on, and I reckon I was awake within about 5 minutes. But there's one song on there, one line in particular that really grabbed me, guys. Like there's a song called Wrath, and the line in it says, "The only way to heal is to hurt more." Like it's so spot on the money, but it's just not something you'd think of. Where'd that come from?
We were writing Wrath, and we were thinking of a part for the build-up, and I think it was something that I had just said as like a placeholder, and then the more we thought about it, we were like, you know what, like this is exactly spot on of what this song is about. Like, like you have to go through the shit to get better. You have to really live in the down to see the other side of it, and that's kind of the symbolism behind the song. And it was I'm glad you resonated with that line, because that's a very cool line.
It is, yeah.
It ended up being one of the stronger lines of that song for sure.
I think that's like shows another talent, I guess, of songwriting. Like the way you described it, then like a lot of people would take that long verbose way around describing it, but to sort of condense it all down in one little line and to say the only way to heal is to hurt more. It should be on a t-shirt. It's fucking great.
That's definitely an idea we're gonna be doing.
And I noticed there's no song on there called Searching for Solace, which means that the title's got to have a bit more significance.
Yeah, Vigil really is the leader when it comes to like lyrical things and thematic things. But he kind of let the rest of us into the process a little bit more on this record in terms of like helping to write lyrics. And so when we had finished the record and were thinking about a title and what this record meant to us and what the process of making it, writing it meant to us, it really was, it became clear to us that it was about this journey that we're on together. And that for so long when we were younger, we were so focused on destinations and finding solace and like always chasing these things and sometimes missing parts of the journey. And that as we are getting a little bit older and starting this new chapter in our lives, with this record in particular, that we're trying to be more mindful of the journey and appreciate things as we experience them and not let life pass us by as it's happening. And that, if you want to find solace in life, it is an active process. Like peace and health and those things that we all want to have don't come to you for free. They don't fall into your lap. They take hard work, takes ups and downs. It takes the yin and the yang and all that stuff. And so, I think a couple of the words kind of popped together and we mixed and matched them in every way you could imagine. And Vigil kind of one day went, "What about searching for solace?" And that was it. So now we're stuck with it for the rest of our lives.
You used Dan Bronstein as producer for most of the album, but you also had Cody Quistad and Glenn McFarland working on some of the songs. So, what was the reason behind having so many different producers?
Just to broaden the scope of the record and not kind of box ourselves into one certain idea or one certain sound. We wanted to explore other avenues because with the self-titled record, the first one being Back After the Accident, obviously was a very important record to us. But like, Jim was saying earlier, we kind of knew what the structure was going to be. We knew what the lyrics were going to be about. We kind of knew what it was going to be. And it felt like a very lateral move, which is, an elevated version of what we were doing before. But this one feels like a step up, like an actual, just a push forward. And so we wanted to embrace all the ideas possible and work with some of our favorite producers and songwriters and just get in there and see what clicked, what worked, what we were capable of, what we wanted to do. Because at the end of the day, we know what it's like to almost lose this and never get another chance at this. So if we had done anything that wasn't 150%, it which would have been selling ourselves short, and then it would just be fake. So we just did everything we could to just push ourselves to the extreme. And I think it comes through in the songwriting, in the lyrics, and in the performances. I think we worked really hard on them. So it's a big record for us, and I can't wait for it to be in everyone's ears.
Oh no. Now, the average listener probably wouldn't be able to tell the difference between those different producers, but from a band perspective, can you hear much difference in the way different producers mix your stuff?
I mean, each of those people brings something different to the table. Like when Dan Bronstein sits down with a guitar and riffs around, it's stuff that we wouldn't have necessarily thought to try ourselves. So working with all these different people helped push us and like kind of grow. But there's nothing on there that's not the Ghost Inside. It's kind of like having your edgy friend who says we should go do this tonight, and you're like, we can't do that. But, you try it and it feels right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Now, Riley is quoted as saying that we really know who we are, and we also feel comfortable stepping into the future now. So can you elaborate on that a bit more?
Yeah. I think we have been a band for 15 years or so as the Ghost Inside, and all of us were in bands prior to this. And we're guys who are married, have kids. We're more confident, I think, in our own skin now than we've ever been, and that we're going to tell people who the Ghost Inside is. We're not going to let people tell us who the Ghost Inside is. And I think one of the things that we really tried to do with this record, and we keep going back to this word, is just to be bold. And I actually have Winston from Parkway Drive to blame for putting that word in our head. We saw him pretty early in this writing process, and he was asking, how things were going, maybe what direction we were going to go in. And I said, like the record at that time definitely didn't feel like it was quite coming together yet. It felt like a bunch of different songs written with different people, different producers. And he said, whatever you do, go after it 100%. He's like, don't take the edge off anything because you think someone else isn't going to like it. He's like, if you like it, that is the litmus test, and don't let anyone else decide what your band is. He's like, so whatever you do, be bold and go for it 100%.
Yeah. I was actually only speaking to Winston a couple of days ago when you guys came up, and that guy is probably one of the most inspirational people I've ever met. Like, he's so positive with everything, and he's so driven, isn't he? He's just a one of a kind.
Oh,
He's Superman for sure.
yeah, he's such a good he's the best guy.
Speaking of Winston and Parkway Drive, you guys are actually making your way back to Australia in September for a run of shows for their 20th anniversary tour. Like, those shows are nearly all sold out already, guys. Like, it's going to be fucking massive.
The crazy thing about that, it's like Parkway Drive could have done that arena tour without any other bands. They were like, dude, they literally could have just announced that them doing this in arenas for, you know, come back to Australia doing a tour. They haven't done it in, for, you know, a home tour in forever, and then
they would have sold out with me playing with them. So that's
yeah. and then out of the kindness, they're like, dude, let's bring some sick bands and let's make this like a whole ordeal. So, you know, we're very honored that they thought of us, and we had you know, we've been having stuff in Australia in the works, and it's kind of hadn't worked out for us, and we were trying to get down there, and then one day we got this call, and it was like, yep, we're doing that. There's no chance we're turning down a Parkway Drive arena tour in one of the best countries in the world. So
yeah, we're very grateful that they asked us to hop on those shows, and I mean, I think it might be what I'm most excited for this year is that tour, and to be able to play some arenas and just have those vibes. It's very exciting.
And it's not just you guys, of course. There's I Prevail and Void of Vision as well. So effectively, you got 4 headliners in one bill. Like, it's no wonder it's sold out.
Yeah,
it's a wild lineup, man. It's a wild lineup.
Then, if my research is correct, you guys were last out here for Full Tilt in 2022.
No, the Full Tilt ended up getting canceled. I'm not exactly sure why it happened, but we were supposed to be on Full Tilt, and it ended up not happening. Oh, the whole tour just ended up not happening. So the last time we were in Australia was we played Unify in the outskirts of Melbourne in 2020.
2020.
Yeah, in 2020, and
right before the pandemic.
Right before the pandemic, and then
you got out.
yeah, the time before that would have been what, 2014.
Yeah.
So
it's been 10 years since we've done a full.
Yeah, so it'll have been 10 years since some of the people have seen us. So I don't imagine everyone was able to make it to Unify. You know, like it's in the middle of nowhere, and you know.
Yeah, well, to refresh everyone's memory, what can Australian fans expect from the Ghost Inside? Like, run us through like I won't say a typical live show because there's no such thing as a typical live show, but run us through what you got. I reckon you guys would be explosive as fuck.
Yeah, just a lot of intensity, a lot of interaction, a lot of sing-alongs, and a lot of energy. I think that's a big thing for our band is we really thrive on putting off the energy and getting it back from the crowd. And every single time we've ever come to Australia, man, they've been so supportive, and all the people down there have been so into our band, and we've been going there since we've been lucky enough to be able to go there since 2008, pretty much every year, if not every other year. And we have a good career down in Australia. So just excited to get back there and play for some people, and play for some fans, and then play for a lot of people who've never heard of us before, because Parkway is the biggest band in the whole world. You know, they're playing 15,000 people arenas. It's like, yeah, it's insane.
Well, I mean, the other side of that too is the band hasn't been there for a full tour in 10 years. So you have to imagine that there's quite a few people who may not even know the band exists at this point.
Yeah.
So it's a really awesome opportunity that Parkway is giving us to play for people who may have never even heard the band before.
You know, the way it's going, you'll be playing a half of Australia over those shows, mate. So all right, boys. Well, thanks very much for your time. It's been a pleasure. The album Searching for Solace is out now, and she's a fucking cracker. You boys will be out here with Parkway Drive later on this year in September, so there's plenty happening, guys, and I'll be at the Brisbane show, so hopefully catch up for a beer.
Let's go. Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
Cheers, man.
in the same routine, repeating over and over. I look ahead and I start to feel the dread of growing older and older. So what's it gonna take to finally make a change? I'm shaking like an earthquake. It's been building up and become too much, like the pouring rain. We can wash it away when you've had enough and it starts to flood. We can break like a tidal wave and wash it away. I hear the wind, a storm's moving in. It's getting closer and closer. For all these days I've been my own barricade. I'm not afraid anymore, so watch me break at the shore. It's been building up and become too much, like the pouring rain. We can wash it away when you've had enough and it starts to flood. We can break like a tidal wave and wash it away. So let it wash away. So sick and tired of waiting, won't stop till I'm bleeding. Break at the shore. You gotta wash it away. So sick and tired of waiting, won't stop till I'm bleeding. Building up and become too much, like the pouring rain. We can wash it away when you've